every site, because in England, unfortunately, the churches are locked most of the time out in the country because they've been suffering thefts and damage. I mean, here, even the lead off the roof has been stolen recently. And it's not only that the metal gets stolen, it's the damage if you don't realise somebody has taken the lead and there's water coming in.
Is that clock work? That has worked, right? Is that clock 9 o'clock?
Yes, it's just past.
So
just
it's
past 9
still
o'clock.
working, right? Still working clock.
Yes, one that it should be.
Yeah.
Are they still using the church?
Yes, the church is still used.
So what is the name of this church?
This is All Saints Church,
All Saints
Babworth.
Church.
All Saints.
Oh, okay.
And it's about 12th century.
Right. Okay.
Now, in the story of the separatists, you will hear about Scrooby. We're going there after, and the post. Now, the post was, well, in England, we didn't have a mail service. What happened was the king, if he wanted to send messengers out, had messengers, and they could commandeer any horse they want to make the message go forward to its destination. That was all sort of standardised in the reign of our King Henry VIII. You've heard of him, not a very nice king. And there was a main route between London and Scotland called the Great North Road. And Scrooby Post was on the Great North Road. But the Great North Road was moved several times. And the reason this church is in the middle of nowhere is because there's a track just leading past, which is an original part of the Great North Road. So come and have a look with me. It's good to get a feeling of what it was like here 400 years ago. And you can certainly do that by walking along this piece of road. And our church warden will be along in a moment to open up the inside of the church. So it's a good opportunity to get a feel for the place. Just behind the trees there, you can just make out a building. It's been much enlarged over the last 200 or 300 years, but that, hidden inside it, is the original rectory of Richard Clifton. Now, have you ever heard of Richard Clifton?
No.
In the story of the Pilgrim Fathers, their religious spiritual leader is often held up as being John Robinson.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
And it was, let's move one side. And it was John Robinson later in the separatist story. But at the very beginning, here at Babworth, the spiritual leader was Richard Clifton. And he is here from 1586. And that is the rectory there. So he is the spiritual leader. John Robinson comes into the story much later. And a lot of people don't realise that. But come along this little
What
bit.
is the kind of the tree, the name of the tree?
Pardon?
The name of the tree?
Oh, these trees, they look to be sycamores. There's a mixture here. We've got sycamores, yeah. This one's the sycamore because it's got a leaf a bit like the Canadian maple leaf.
Yeah, it's like maple.
Yeah. Yeah, Hagar. It's nice, we've got our little pilgrims here.
Yeah.
So that's nice to have that on the sign. Gives you a sense of the history. I'll tell you what's very nice as well. This is an Anglican church.
Oh.
We're going to visit 3 other Anglican churches.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Now, our separatists left the Anglican church. They turned their back on it. And yet these churches all have memorabilia to the Pilgrim Fathers. So it just shows how much further forward the church has evolved and how more all-embracing it is. in recent years that they actually celebrate people who turned their back on them. I think that's quite sweet, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know how the separatists would have felt if they came back and saw that. They might be quite amused.
This in Redford or in Scrooby.
Yes, this would have led to Scrooby. Scrooby is about, as the crow flies, about 6-7 miles.
But this church doesn't belong to the Redford city.
This church, Badworth, because Richard Clifton came here, and the thing that was missing in the English church at this time was preaching.
Oh.
And Puritans thought preaching was at the heart of the service. Richard Clifton was one of these men who was a fantastic preacher. So when he came here, pretty soon people from all over would walk easily 6-7 miles, 10 miles to come and hear him, because he was that uplifting, that different. In such a banal Church of England, there was this man who could really set souls alight and encourage people. Now, this is what the Great North Road was once like. You come along a little bit.